The Universal parks usually have a pretty good track record of opening rides that are enjoyable by its visitors. Sometimes they may only appeal to a certain segment of their customers, such as the Seuss Landing being aimed towards a younger audience, but they always have some sort of target. But every once in a while, Universal will open a ride that just seems like they put pretty much no thought into it. And I get there's probably someone out there for every ride, but you can't tell me that the majority of the people that have gone on the Minions ride genuinely thought they got their money's worth. And that's a big part of this, money. If Universal's going to charge what they do for tickets, which I find fair based on their collection of rides and immersion, but if they are to charge this amount, they need to always produce the highest quality possible, and in the case of today's topic, they absolutely did not. Now, most of you probably think I'm talking about the Fast and Furious ride, and while that is a pretty bad ride for Universal, it's absolutely nothing in comparison to the dreaded, horrific, and just downright atrocious Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon. This ride takes everything you know about a boring ride and just throws it straight in the trash. Fast and Furious can be bad, but at least it's just so insane, it's almost funny. Like, yeah, it has no followable story, and the ride or experience doesn't really add anything, but it's over with quick. It just all happens in a flash, then you're free to leave and do something better. But Jimmy Fallon? This ride forces you to spend the next 30 minutes, if not more, not just questioning your choice of ride, but you're questioning your choice of even waking up that morning. Now, usually I like to go off of a script as I am right now, but I think it would be best for me to go off script here and just tell you my true feelings. This is my experience on the worst Universal ride ever. So, on my second day at my most recent Universal trip, and I hadn't been in a long time, so I was excited to try everything, I noticed that it was only a 5-minute wait for the Jimmy Fallon ride, and I was like, well, I've heard mixed reviews on it, but 5 minutes, that's not bad. I might as well just try it and get it out of the way. I'm already at studios. Let's just see what happens. So we get in the line, and you start out in this queue area with a bunch of like memorabilia and stuff from the Tonight Show. Nothing special, whatever. I didn't think much of it. They hand you a ticket, right? And you're in a room full of people, and they hand you different colored tickets. It's still kind of confusing now what the point is, but it's supposed to be like you're at the show, but whatever. So then finally, after about 5 minutes, which I thought was fair, we go into the next room. We go up some stairs, and I'm thinking, okay, so this is where we'll get called into the room, and maybe the tickets just has to do with where we sit. No. There's another room. And there's a bunch of seats around, and there's screens and like games to play that are all like cheap mobile games from 2009 they just threw on a screen that doesn't work half the time and expected to entertain you for the next 20 minutes because you're going to sit in that room for the next 20 minutes. I don't understand what's happening. There were colors of tickets coming in, like let's say we had the blue ticket, and then a group of people come up with the purple ticket 5 minutes later, and then their color gets called before ours. I genuinely don't understand that concept at all, but I saw plenty of people that came in after us go before us. And while this is happening, there is like a show going on. It's like a quartet or whatever. I didn't pay attention. I wasn't paying attention. I was on my phone the whole time. Finally, we get called on our ticket, and it's been 20 minutes. So it's now 25 minutes instead of a 5-minute wait. And now we're waiting in this long queue down the line where we're picking up our 3D glasses. And we sit here forever. This is another 10 minutes on the line. That's 35 minutes I've now waited. Finally, we get through this, and I'm like, okay, we're at the ride now. The doors are here. The doors close. There's another pre-show with absolutely atrocious comedy by Jimmy Fallon. It's not funny. It's just, it's not funny. I don't know what to say. If you think it's funny, good for you. You had more fun than me. It's absolutely not funny. So we sit there for another 5 minutes for his little pre-show section. It's super unimportant. Could have gone without it. So now we've been here 40 minutes. Finally, we're on the ride, and it's taking forever. I'm not sure what's going on. It wasn't me. Someone in the ride wasn't fitting in, whatever. It doesn't matter. They couldn't get their seatbelt. They finally get that figured out. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's probably like 2 or 3 minutes. It wasn't that bad. So then the ride's going, and it's really just Jimmy Fallon crashes his car, makes a really bad joke, repeat, and that's it. But about halfway through, the screen goes off, and the lights come on. And then we start going down, and I'm like, huh. The ride definitely broke down, but maybe they'll just cut it early and I can leave because it's been 45 minutes and I've wasted my time. I could have done anything else. So we go down and they're trying to figure something out. I'm assuming it relates back to the person at the beginning who wasn't in their seat right. About another 5 minutes goes by, and then I'm like, oh, why are our seats going back up? Oh, because they're restarting the ride. Well, maybe at least they'll just start from where we were. No. See how we were like 2 minutes into the ride. They're like, let's just start them over. So I have to sit through Jimmy Fallon's jokes again. They're not funny the first time, but at least the first time it's like, well, I didn't expect that. That's terrible, but whatever. The second time when you know it's coming, it is somehow infinitely less funny. I don't know how to explain this. I mean, he is literally just crashing a car and then going, oh, my bad, and that's it. That's the ride. And it makes no sense. Like, they just did whatever they wanted. You just happen to go to water at some point and see a shark. You ride to space for some reason. There's pizza. It just doesn't... There's no connection here. It doesn't make sense. Finally, after probably 10 minutes in the ride room, it's supposed to be like 3 minutes, the ride's finally over and I get to walk out. And so what was supposed to be a 5-minute wait just turned into an hour-long process of the worst ride I've ever been on. Like, I don't even think I need to go into specifics more on what the actual ride is, because I don't know what to tell you. Like, it just happens. Like, Jimmy Fallon just wanted a cheap ride that he could put his name and his brand on it, and Universal could get a good check out of it. So that was probably more of a vent session than an actual detailed story, but I think it's good information to put out there. When you're visiting Universal, every single line is going to be long, so I think it's really important to spend time doing the best rides at the parks for the prices of those tickets. And hopefully after watching this video, you've learned that the Jimmy Fallon ride is not worth your time. It's not even worth the time of thinking about going on the ride. So just do yourself a favor on the next trip to Universal Orlando. Avoid this ride at all costs, because it is by far the worst thing Universal has ever created.